You need to understand that every Java application is organized into multiple logical layers, starting with the data access layer, which is responsible for performing the database operations, the services layer where all our business logic will go, the presentation layer which will present our application to the end client, and the integration layer which is responsible for integrating with other applications or communicating with other applications, and also letting other applications to communicate with our application. Each layer here uses the services provided by other layers. The services layer uses the data access layer. The presentation layer and the integration layer can use the services layer services. With that understanding, the patterns, the design patterns in the Java EE space are organized across these layers. For example, under the presentation layer, we have multiple patterns starting from intercepting filter, friend controller, MVC, context object, and many more. Business layer will be using business delegate to delegate the business logic, transfer object to carry the data around, session facade which will wrap a lot of data instead of making multiple calls, service locator which will look up for an appropriate service that needs to be invoked, and more. Under data access layer, we have the data access object pattern, and the integration layer, we have service activator, web service broker, and more. Again, in this course, we will be exploring some of the important layers in the Java EE as well as the GOF, Gang of 4 pattern catalog. So in this lecture, you have learned that the Java EE pattern catalog is organized across the Java EE application layers, starting with the presentation layer, which is responsible for presenting the data, the business logic layer or the business layer, the data access layer where all the database CRUD operations happen, and the integration layer which is responsible for communicating with other applications or allowing other applications to communicate with our application.